Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Utica. I'm Kim Bywater and I'm a member of the worship committee. Whether you are visiting for the first time or have been a member for many years, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known, if any, you are welcome here. Whoever you are and whomever you love, you are welcome here. We are invited to bring our whole selves to this worship service. Our doubts as well as our convictions, the pain and joy we have known, our longing for connection and understanding. Every part of you is welcome here. If you are signing in today for the first time, we are glad you have joined us. We would love to learn more about you and connect you with our newsletter if you like. There is a link in the chat to a form that we hope any visitors would fill out. And we hope you will stay for informal conversation in breakout groups after the service. We have a few announcements today. First announcement is from Stewardship. Last week, we began our annual pledge drive for which our theme is planting seeds. We are off to an excellent start as 25 of you have pledged nearly $52,000, which is about 57% of our financial goal and about 1/3 of our main goal of 100% participation from our members and friends. If you have already pledged, we thank you. If you have not yet pledged, please do so as soon as you can. We need you to help plant the seeds of our UU values in our community. A second announcement. Interfaith Power and Light has chosen a film titled Kiss the Ground as its featured film for Faith Climate Action Week, which is April 16th through 25th. Their theme this year is called Sacred Ground, Cultivating Connections Between Our Food, Our Faith, and the Climate. Kiss the Ground is a new film about how regenerating the world's soil has the potential to rapidly stabilize Earth's climate, restore lost ecosystems, and create abundant food supplies. This film explains why transitioning to regenerative agriculture could be key in rehabilitating the planet, while simultaneously invigorating a new sense of hope and inspiration in viewers. Register with IPL to receive a link to view it virtually at no cost from April 10th through 26th. DVDs are also available for sale through IPL. For additional information, please contact Barbara Freeman, Chair of the Climate Action Team, or myself, and we can forward this information to you. Let us open our hearts and minds to the experience of community and the wisdom of love.
Happy Easter, and thank you for inviting me to return to UU Utica. It's so nice to see familiar faces. And thank you, Bob, for your wonderful music. Is he here? His recording. Anyway, it's wonderful. Thank you, Zoom. As a child growing up, Easter Sunday meant, besides going to Mass, meant a new Sunday dress, baskets full of chocolate, and a ride to camp on an Ida Lake to see if the snow was all gone yet. As an interspiritual minister, I see Easter Sunday as a celebration of so many traditions, the celebration of spring, even though officially it started a few weeks ago, the resurrection of Jesus in the Christian tradition, the freedom of the Jewish people escaping from Egypt as Passover, the Hindu holiday of Holi, also known as the Festival of Love. The earth is in love, celebrating the victory of light over darkness as our days grow longer. We see the celebration in the earth, in the trees, the green sprouts. We feel it in our bones and the awakening from a slumbering winter. And this year we hold hope in our hearts for the end of isolation due to COVID. May we feel the warmth of all these reasons to celebrate in our hearts as we worship today. Our first hymn this morning is hymn number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness.
Light the chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, with the words of John O'Donohue from excerpts of his poem, For a New Beginning. This beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back.
Our Together Time story is called Don't Forget to Remember by Ellie Holcomb. And she says God in this book, and we have such a diversity of belief systems, so I've replaced the word God with love. I hope you enjoy it. It says, let's see if I can make sure that you can see this and I can read it. Did you know creation is talking to you wherever you go in whatever you do? The earth will keep giving you a clue after clue, so you won't forget to remember what's true. Like every day when the sun rises high, the warmth that you feel is God's love by your side. When you catch the snowflakes that fall from the sky, each of them whisper, you are one of a kind, and each snowflake is one of a kind. And after the winter and cold are all through, the flowers remind you love makes all things new. When a colorful rainbow peeks out through the rain, don't forget to remember love always stays the same. On glad days and sad days, love is always near and knows that it can use any storm to make good things grow. When you can't see the end of the ocean so blue, just remember love never runs out on you. Don't forget to remember you're never alone, no matter if you are up high or down low. And as sure as the sun will keep rising above, don't forget to remember that you are dearly loved. So just like the stars won't forget how to shine, don't forget to remember that all of the time, love will guide you wherever you go, and you are loved from the top of your head to your toes. Let the whole earth remind you of what love is, from the moment you wake up until you go to bed. And even on days you forget what is true, don't forget to remember love won't forget you. And this segues beautifully into our reading, or rather a quote that I chose from Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk and theologian. I think some of you will recognize that name. He says, gratitude is the recognition of love in everything, in every breath we draw, in every moment of existence. I'll say it again. It's so beautiful. Gratitude is the recognition of love in everything, in every breath we draw, in every moment of existence. New beginnings. We're talking about Easter. It's always a reminder of new beginnings, rebirth, resurrection, spring. How do we start over? How do we start anew? What brings rebirth into our lives? How do we rediscover the love that is already in us, already in our lives? How do we grow a garden of love? It's spring. The spiritual teacher Muji has an exercise he calls the invitation. In it, he invites you to drop the past and drop the future. He reminds us that we have never experienced the future that we worried about and imagined. He says, just be in the present, be in your heart. Unfortunately, we don't really know how to do that, most of us. In this COVID year, I've heard from so many that are grieving the past, grieving their present, grieving the future. It has been a challenging year for all. One of my teachers used to say, we are all equally beggars here, meaning Everyone has their own challenge, and it may be visible or invisible. In my chaplain training, we were shown a video of people walking through the hospital hallways, and it shows above them those little word thoughts. And they're thinking, how will I pay for the hospital bill? What if my son dies? What if I have cancer? The point is, we do not know what the other is struggling with. And we are not the only ones struggling in the world. So allow yourself some space to step out of it, to let go of it, even if it's just for now, just for an hour. Let some green shoots come up. I love to read Jan Phillips. She has a book called In No Ordinary Time, and she has this section on how to be a mystic. So here's your lesson. She says, wake up every morning with thank you on your lips. Brush your teeth with gratitude bubbling up in your mouth. She's a little dated, but she says, leave the newspaper folded and the answering machine on, and the door to your prayer place, your quiet place inside, closed to the world until you've taken a call from the one who speaks in silence. Let your mind be empty and filled with 10,000 thoughts. Let them come, let them go. Remember, there is nothing that is not holy. She says, be aware that the words you speak on Monday become the life you live on Thursday. Be present to what you say. Look deeply enough into the eyes of those who speak to you. Crawl into bed at the end of the day singing thank you and thank you 100 times. This is one of my favorite cards that I have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it brings us back to Thomas Merton. Gratitude is the recognition of love in everything. It's always there, but we are too busy. We are too hurt. We think we are unworthy. I visited a patient last week who told me she was not worthy enough for God to answer her prayer. I asked if she had children. She has 2 sons, and she's to all of those who have children in her. What would make you love your children less, to make your children unworthy in your eyes? She said, never. And like that, I do not believe in unworthy. I believe in love. Love is in everything, just waiting for us to open the door to it. It can be an awful taskmaster at times. Love wants what is best for us, even if it takes us there kicking and screaming. Facebook has this wonderful remake of the traditional footprints in the sand, if you know that, where there were two tracks in the sand, and then there were one track, and there's that one set of footprints when God carried us. The remake says, where you see one set of footprints is where I carried you. That long groove over there is where I dragged you kicking and screaming. And sometimes love has to do that for us. I see this often with the patients I visit. I suggested to one patient that his stay in the hospital is God's way of giving him a timeout. You know, children have their timeouts. Now as adults, this is God sends us to the hospital for a timeout. And he laughed. He said, yeah, my wife has been telling me to slow down. He said, you are so spot on. Love is in everything, trying to bring us to our better good. Think about when we have fallen in love. That's its own rebirth, coming alive. It's like spring. All of a sudden, all the things that used to bother us go away. So let's celebrate Easter by being in love, by opening our hearts to a recognition that love exists in our very being. It is our nature, deep nature, and we have it so covered over. And so some have doubts of that. Others are sure of it. Some think, well, it's just been on a long vacation. So take this opportunity. Spring is here. Love is here. I have this huge tree outside my window, and it's always a reminder to be noticed, to pay attention. There it stands, and I open up my curtains, and then, aha, I notice it. And the tree is happy, and I am happy. At least that's what I believe. There's truly not enough love being recognized in the world. It's there. It just doesn't make the headlines, even in our own hearts. We overlook the kindness, the friends, the smiles, the things that work in our lives. and instead focus on the one thing that upset us that day that caught us off guard. I think we're conditioned to be drama queens by the constant stream of drama on the TV and social media. React, react, be horrified, hair on fire, the sky is falling. What if instead it said be, love, gratitude? Could we hear it? Would we hear it? Or do we just scroll past it? What if today we were just grateful for everything? Make a list of the things in your life to be grateful for. Just run them through your head. Sunshine, cat, heat, dog, running water, friends, family, food on the table. Say thank you to them in your heart. Sincerely think thank you in your heart. And your heart expands. It may need some practice expanding. Do this as often as you think of it. The wonderful Ralph Waldo Emerson, even 100 years ago, was saying this very same thing. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously, he said. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and give thanks continuously. He continues, finish each day and be done with it. You've done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely, and I love this, with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. Start your day with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. Begin anew. This agrees also, there's that great Hasidic teaching that says a person who wakes up in the morning is like a new creation. So today, just for now, be a new creation. If you're struggling with gratitude, consider these thoughts. And, you know, we can focus on all of the ways we can't be grateful. But there are just basic things that we can be grateful for in this country. I saw these on the internet. If you have food in the refrigerator, clothes on your back, a roof overhead, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of this world. If you have money in the bank, in your wallet, spare change in a dish someplace, you are among the top 8% of the world's wealthy. If you hold up your head with a smile on your face and are truly thankful, you are blessed because the majority can, but most do not. If you have overcome a challenge or working to overcome a challenge, give thanks. If you're still struggling, find a small thing to give thanks for, baby steps. Focus on that. Gratitude is an antidote for much of the world's suffering, our own suffering, and it is the field in which the flowers of love flourish. If you have it, share it. If you don't, grow it, practice it. It reaps amazing results. As Kim said in the lighting of the cellist, this beginning has been quietly forming in you, waiting until you were ready to emerge. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. The grace of beginning. Because love is always within us, waiting for us to unfurl. It often sends its helper grace to clear our path. Sometimes just when we are thinking about giving up or turning away, something happens, synchronicity, happenstance, and we are strengthened on our way. I call this grace, the unexpected helpers that hold us up, that carry us along, that drag us kicking and screaming. It abounds in this world, looking for an opportunity to help. I studied for a short while with Sheikha Fariha, a Sufi teacher in New York City, and she always reminded us of this Islamic saying that says about Allah, take one step towards me and I will take 10 steps toward you. Walk towards me and I will run towards you. An opportunity to help. At the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you, says Goethe. The entire universe conspires to assist you. Will you commit to gratitude? As many moments as you can spare. Stopped at the traffic light. Name things to be grateful. The store on the corner, a car to drive, passengers in the car, the traffic light. a paved road. Standing in the grocery store, don't be impatient. Give thanks for the food in your basket. A store with stocked shelves, and we saw what happened last year when there weren't stocked. Money to buy things. After you put the groceries in the car, sit in the car for one moment before running to the next thing. Say thank you out loud to no one in particular. Make it a practice at a daily meal. Each person names something to be grateful for. There are always those things that are there. We just don't make the time to remind ourselves. We have to, don't forget to remember, as the book said. Make up your own moments. Leave yourself post-it notes of thanks for yourself or other family members. Thanks for doing the laundry. Thanks for washing the dishes. Thanks for being there. Gratitude is such a powerful way to change your day, your month, your year. The teacher Muji says that if the only mantra you say is thank you, that would be enough. Many years ago, I had separated from my spiritual community, but wanted to return. And when I returned, they put me under the supervision of a person who resented the fact that I had left and was allowed to return. And she did everything she could to discourage me from staying. But I was committed to gratitude, and at that time, it was in my heart. And no matter what she threw at me, I gave thanks. I gave thanks. I gave thanks. I did whatever she asked. Suddenly, to my surprise, she was asked to leave. It was for me a powerful affirming of my practice of gratitude. Being grateful is not designed to just get what you want, and we often want what we don't need. Rather, gratitude softens that sometimes harshness of life and gently guides you to your best outcome. When your heart is full, it is not easily crushed by the events of the world. So for this Easter Sunday, this day of resurrection, of rebirth, of spring, I encourage you to find moments with a gratitude practice. Look with new eyes at the people around you, at the earth around you, at yourself. The traditional Native American greeting in the Seneca language, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce, translates to thank you for being. So when they greet each other, they say, thank you for being. Life is so interconnected, we do not realize how we affect others and how others affect us. Thank you for being. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are. We just do not realize. I had a patient who was struggling with a diagnosis, and though as a chaplain we're discouraged from sharing our own personal stories, there was one I felt was really relevant, so I shared it. A day or so later, I received an email from a colleague out of state who was a bit psychic from a near-death experience he had, and he said, I've been asked by the other side to say thank you. You have helped someone who was uncertain by sharing your own story. This person who wrote had no idea what the message was about, and we had not spoken to each other for months. You just never know. Thank you for being. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are. We never know who we touch or how we touch them, or even for ourselves, lift ourselves up. What is important is that we live our lives from a caring place in our hearts and not just wander around in a maze of our minds and get lost up here. Be down here in the heart. My favorite Winnie the Pooh character, Piglet, speaking from his head, asked Pooh, how do you spell love? And the wise Pooh, speaking from his heart, answered, you don't spell it, you feel it. I pray, may you feel the seeds of gratitude flower into the presence of love in your life. As our children's story reminded us, don't forget to remember, love won't forget you. May it be so. Thank you for listening. Amen. Our next hymn is hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. May it be so.
when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power in each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
I light this candle for all of those who are holding something in their heart and not speaking. It is for all of you. May the love of gratitude and love surround you. May we always take time to acknowledge and be grateful for our spiritual community. May we embrace the changes, the transformations taking place even today in ourselves and in those around us. May we support and feel supported and nourished by that community. May we reach out and welcome new friends always. Amen.
Our words for the offering come from Kayla Parker, titled A Greater Good for Ourselves and Our World. We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope. Please click on the link in the chat to donate or mail a check to the church. We thank you for your continued support of our church. Our words for extinguishing the chalice are on your screen. Please read with me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
And may you keep your hearts in a holy place. May it radiate to those around you. And don't forget to wash your hands, get your shots. Blessed be. Amen. And now for the postlude. I want to say thank you to the UU chorus people who have put this incredible postlude together. Thank you.
And thank you to Tommy Snell of Rochester for offering what you're about to see, and all of the churches who participated. Keep an eye out for me and Kim.